Hey guys, it's Rusty Pruitt, host of the Journey podcast, navigating pest control in business. I'm giving a journal entry update today, and I think it's been probably 3 months since the last journal entry update. Again, for those of you listening who just started following the podcast, we try to do this every few months. We give an update of where we are with our company. July will be 3 years since we started our very first, since we serviced our very first customer. And so we're coming up on 3 years here in a few months. And so, again, the last journal entry we had was, I believe, the beginning of February of 2023. So it's been about 3 months. A lot has happened since then. We've had some awesome guests that I've interviewed on the podcast. This is a good time to give an update of what we've got going on. If you hear a little road noise right now, it's because I'm actually in the truck headed down to our Gulf Coast office, heading through Montgomery, Alabama as we speak. That was Waze speaking in the background. Let me know there was a car on the side of the road. I do have both hands on the wheel because I have my AirPods in. So anyway, update. So what's going on? Since last update in February, I believe we were getting ready for PEACOFest, which was in the beginning of March. And so PEACOFest is our annual company retreat. And this was our third one. So this is our third annual retreat that we got everybody in the whole company together. We hosted this in Auburn. It was in Auburn last year at our main office. The very first year, because we had more uh, employees in the Gulf Coast, we hosted down in Gulf Coast in Orange Beach, which was awesome. Weather was amazing. Good times at the Floribama and some local establishments. Good food. This year we had it again in Auburn and had the whole team. So it's getting more and more challenging. Essentially, shut down our operations for a whole day, day and a half, to get everybody together. But man, is it worth it? It's so worth it. I would say this was by far the best one we've hosted. Shout out to our team for putting it together. Everybody involved of the planning and coordinating events, and we actually made this more of an Olympic game style event. I've actually got this idea from NPMA, the National Pest Management Association. They have an event every year called Academy, and I went to my first Academy, and I was immediately given I think it was a yellow T-shirt, and so I was on the yellow team, or maybe it was green. I think it was green, the green team. Well, we won, so I guess I do need to remember that. But they divided all the attendees into groups, and we had sort of Olympic style games, and for the whole week, and you got to really interact with a smaller group. Incredible event. A little awkward at first if it's your first event, but you quickly get in there and learn a lot. But anyway, we did something similar, at our company retreat. And so we divided our team members up. We had about 23 of us there. We divided our team members up into four groups. We had four different color T-shirts designed specifically for everybody. Each team was named after one of our core values. And so it was a really fun time. Had some awesome speakers come in, speaking on, some product knowledge, some of the technical side. We had some of our own team members speak, which was really cool. They knocked it out of the park. A couple of our guys, they were just a service professional and one of our sales professionals. I was just like a proud papa listening to everybody. And anyway, so it was a day and a half, 2-day event. Really fun time. Really, truly felt like everybody was really engaged on the team. Sometimes you go to these events and they're just, they're boring, they're cheesy, it's an information download. We try really hard not to make it like that. We try to make it fun. We try to make it engaging. And it was really cool. It seems like every time I looked into sort of the audience of our team, everybody was engaged. They were listening to the speaker. I think every one of our speakers killed it. Every one of our speakers killed it. They did a phenomenal job. And so it was a really cool event. We got to see some competition with our different games we did. We had anything from a free throw shooting contest to was it like Jenga, the little block game, but it's like the oversized Jenga. So we had all this set up in our shop. We had cornhole challenges. We ended the night at the bowling alley. We bowled. We finished it off bowling and had pizza and drinks and all that good stuff. So fun time. Everybody really seemed to have an awesome time. So it was really cool. Check our check my Facebook page or the pest control page, and we actually had a video. We've documented this the last 2 years, where we actually bring a professional film crew in to document this. Again, it goes along with the whole journey uh, premise of the journey of what we're doing. So I think it's pretty cool to document this, and it's also a great recruiting tool, for others to see, what our culture's like, what our environment's like. And so that video is actually online. Maria just put it out there this week. So if you go to the Pest Control Facebook page, just look for that video. It says PEACOFest 2023, and you get a vibe of what it was like. Really cool, really fun. Shout out to the team for putting together an amazing event. It absolutely consumed us for the first quarter of the year, getting ready for that. But in addition to that, I want to give an update on our book club, because I believe we talked about that last time. And we had our book club. We chose a book called The Ultimate Sales Machine by Chet Holmes. And man, it was just really exceeded my expectations as far as the club, the engagement. We had all of our team members, all of our sales professionals inside and out on the call, along with our leaders. And again, this was every 2 weeks. We would cover 2 chapters. We would rotate who facilitated the session, which was really neat. So it kept everybody, engaged and taking ownership, which is one of our core values, ownership. So they got to take ownership of setting the agenda, asking questions, putting them maybe in a little bit uncomfortable spot if they've never done anything like that. And they knocked it out of the park. Every single one of our guys. I could not be more proud. And I think we learned a lot on sales, how to become a true sales professional. So again, we're trying to sharpen our skills. And how do we do that? We do that by practicing. We do it by role playing. We do it by coaching. And so this was a big part of launching our sales program for 2023. And I don't know if it's by accident. I'd like to think not, but we set a goal to be 25% over our new business sales in 2023 compared to 2022, with a smaller marketing investment. And we actually have exceeded that in the first 3 months, first quarter. I think we exceeded the 25% goal. I think we're probably closer to 40 to 50% new sales over this time last year. So I definitely want to give a shout out again to everybody being engaged with our team. But really cool tool that we did. And for those of you listening, whether you got a small team, big team, I think if there's only 3 of you doing a book club, if there's only 2 of you doing it, or 35, whatever, I think it's just the fact that you're keeping it front of mind. There's something for you to talk about. So it was a hit, I think, with our team. We actually just finished that, and I made the suggestion to the club. At some point, it'll kind of, the newness will wear off, and people may get bored with it. So I think what we're going to do is actually open up a book club to the entire company. We started off with this just to develop a skill for our sales professionals, but then you realize there's a lot of our team members, service professional, whether they're an admin, leadership, whatever, who have a desire to learn, right? So I think we're about to open this up to the whole company. We're going to pick a subject and a topic, and if it interests someone, or someone's able to do this, then they can be a part of our book club. Again, logistically, we do it every 2 weeks. We start at 7:45, and it lasts about 45 minutes. It's a Zoom call. So everybody has it time blocked. They're able to be in front of a computer or their phone, in a non-distracted environment. So anyway, just a couple of updates there. Book club, PEACOFest, company retreat. All this, I think, was phenomenal timing happening right before our busy season. So, like I said, we were ahead of sales of last year, but really the last, getting late March, this whole month of April has just been unbelievable from, a sales standpoint with obviously warmer weather and bug activity increasing. So I think the timing of hosting the event, getting everybody excited, fired up, re-energized, get them through the dreary winter months. I think the timing was awesome. The book club timing was absolutely awesome. We had one of our sales professionals who moved into a sort of a team leader and sales role, who's mentored one of our brand new sales professionals, Turner Mason, shout out. Also the lead guitar for the Midnight Shepherds, unbelievably talented dude. But Casey has done a phenomenal job mentoring Turner because he's brand new to sales and he is absolutely killing it. I think he sold over 50,000 his first month of sales production, and he was one of our service professionals prior to that. So pretty cool. So a few updates there. The reason I'm in the truck right now, heading south, got up early this morning. Beautiful spring day. Headed down to our Gulf Coast office down at Fairhope. Actually going down to present an MVP award to Isaac Smith, who is our operations. He's in an operations leader role right now for the company. So Isaac was our market leader for our Gulf Coast office, and we actually moved him into more of a leadership role for the whole company, and moved one of our other top guys into the Gulf Coast to be in a role of leading that team. So a lot of new changes that have happened. Just got passed by a state trooper. My heart skipped a beat there for a second. We're good. He kept going. But anyway, so heading down here to surprise Isaac. They've got a meeting this morning, their monthly level 10 team meeting with their whole crew. Cole, who leads that market, pulls the whole guys together. It'll actually be for 2 hours this morning from 8 to 10. And so I'm surprising Isaac with the MVP award. So for those of you who have not followed us, our MVP award is something that we give out once a year. We do it at our PEACOFest, at our annual company retreat. I'll give the backstory here in a second, but it's basically this award is voted on by everyone's peers. So we'll have a Gulf Coast, it's by market, so we'll have an MVP award for the Gulf Coast, and we send out a survey, and it's an anonymous survey that everybody in that market completes, and they actually get to choose who was the MVP for the last year. So who demonstrated our core values, who was the most valuable player on the team, and it's really cool. It's not me selecting that; it's our team, and selecting their peers. So really neat. I know Ryan Goodman was our first winner, who was here from the beginning of PPC. And we actually do a championship belt, like a wrestling championship belt. It's custom engraved with images on it and photos, and it's funny. And anyway, it's a really cool thing. I know Garner Martin won it last year. Earl Thompson won it. I'm in our Gulf Coast, and actually had Danny Dunson, our service professional extraordinaire, win it this year in our East Alabama market. And Garner Martin, our inside sales pro in our hub. And I may be forgetting about somebody. If I am, forgive me. But anyway, so that's our MVP award. And Isaac actually won it for our leadership team last year. And in between the transition of Isaac transitioning from the Gulf Coast market leader to an operations leadership role for the whole company, somehow he got voted for MVP by his peers, and somehow through the planning process of our PEACOFest, the ball got dropped, and it's on me that we never got an MVP award for him, even though he won this thing. It just completely slipped. I think because he was planning the other two for the other, but he the kind of guy he is, being selfless, he didn't plan his own award, and so. Anyway, we've had a championship belt MVP award made, and I'm coming down to surprise him along with the whole Gulf Coast team. Everybody's in on it. Isaac has no clue, so it's going to be pretty cool to go down there and surprise him. So we'll probably have a video on this. We'll put on our social media at some point if you're interested in checking it out. But that's those are probably the main updates of where we are as a company. Again, July 1st will be 3 years, our 3-year anniversary. Hard to believe. I think we're coming up on close to 4,000 recurring customers that we're serving, which is really cool. That we serviced our very first one, Alexa Cole Wiggins, almost 3 years ago. Our very first recurring customer. So we're coming up on that 3-year anniversary. We also are coming up on our 90-day EOS planning session with David King, who's a previous guest on the podcast. We're coming up on that, so we will recalibrate. We will look at our rocks that we had for the last 90 days, see where we are, see how we accomplish those, and reset and look at our next 90 days of what's most important for the company, what do we need to focus on, where are our objectives, where should our focus be in this next 90 days. So I'm anxious and excited to have that time with David. EOS, we talk about it all the time. It's like we're a commercial for EOS. But if you're curious about what that is, go back and look at past episodes on the EOS, particularly the one with David King, where we really walk through what that is. So to wrap it up, good time to talk about our rocks for this last 90 days as we're wrapping those up. So I know one of my rocks over the last 90 days was to develop a playbook, and so I'm wrapping that up. About to hopefully put a bow on that this week, so I can check that off as a done rock for this quarter, for this 90 days, and what that is, the playbook. I'm really excited about this. But when we first started the company, we had someone sort of take the role of developing an operations manual, right? So I'm a big believer in documented processes, operations, and this was a rock for us. Had a lot of good intentions. It turned out to be probably a 4,000 page document that I don't think anybody actually read other than proofreading it. Like I said, very well intended to get all this stuff on paper, but I think what we realized through the process was we checked that box that we put an operations manual in place, but the unforeseen result of that was no one used it, no one referenced it. It wasn't a live breathing document. We patted ourselves on the back for doing it, but it really didn't have a whole lot of use outside of that. There were SOPs in there to a degree, but they weren't organized very well. We weren't following them. An SOP that we were using 2 years ago looks different than it does today. And so I came up with this idea to develop a very simple playbook that everybody in the company will have. And it's been a really cool experience. But if you picture like an 8.5 by 5.5 size journal, right? So picture that size. That's what this will look like. So what's going to be in this playbook? We're going to have the basic things that, again, this is for existing team members. This is for brand new team members, particularly for brand new team members. They'll get this. And basically it's all the basics of our company that everyone in the company should know. An operations manual from A to Z. Everybody in the company should not know every function, nor would they, right? And so this is something that we want everybody in the company to know, to understand, to wrap their brain around. And it's going to have a lot of the basic stuff of what we do. So part of this playbook, number one, our core values, our core focus, that's going to be listed in there. So the intent is for everybody to have this. They take it with them in their truck, leave it on their desk. They can reference this thing. And as we update, anytime this thing's going to get updated, we're going to update this, give a whole new copy to everybody in the company. Well, we'll see how this goes. I know initially I'm pretty excited about getting this out. Another reason why this was born, we had one of our new guys, one of our new service professionals who I had a check-in with about 30, 60 days after he began. And he was giving me feedback like, hey, what's working, what's not, and all good feedback. And he's like, Rusty, he's like, it'd really be nice if we actually had some sort of manual or something to tell us like step by step how to do something, how to do a pest stop or a mosquito stop. And I'm like, well, we've got that. Connor, we have that. And he's like, oh, I haven't seen it. And I'm like, oh God, okay. So we've got this operations and SOP, but we're not even keeping it in front of our guys. It was kind of a light bulb went off. Like, wow, this isn't a living, breathing document. So part of the playbook, it's going to have our core values in it. It's going to have our core focus. We have something that we developed, the top 5 reasons to do business with Pruitt Pest Control. Again, that's our elevator speech. So we're going to have that in there. I've developed that. We've rolled it out to our leadership team. We have not learned it. No one knows it, so this will be part of rolling that out. And so we'll do coaching and training around this, just like we did with our core values. So we'll have the top 5 reasons to do business. So again, everybody in our company, it doesn't matter what role, should be able to spout out quickly the top 5 reasons to do business with us. Like if you're in that elevator and you have 30 seconds, what are the 5 things you can tell somebody? And they're very short, very concise, right? For us, it's modern, convenient, effective, local, guaranteed. And then we're going to have a little sentence that goes along with each one. So nothing overwhelming, nothing crazy, just a quick thing that everybody can consume. And after some coaching and training, everybody in our company should be able to tell the top 5 reasons, right? So that'll be a cool part of this little playbook that we're going to have. Also, our pricing, our basic recurring services, having our pricing on there. We do bundled services, so we want to be able to quickly have a reference guide, something super easy to understand, where they can reference like, here's a mosquito service. If I bundle a mosquito with a termite, what is the pricing on that? If I bundle, one service versus 3 service, what kind of savings is there? We're going to have, what are our initial service fees for each service? So all those things. And we have this information out there, but it's literally not printed in a concise way. It's in our field routes program, but it's not in a easy to understand way. And again, this got brought up by one of our service professionals in one of our feedback sessions. He's like, I'd really like to learn how to sell and do more sales. You guys want us to, but like I don't even know our pricing for our services. Again, light bulb goes off like, holy smokes, our service professional doesn't even know exactly what our pricing is. He has access to it. He could ask, but we haven't really trained and given them that. So anyway, that's going to be in our playbook, just a 1-page, very simple pricing guide. We'll also have just a few other little sort of housekeeping things. Again, this thing will be no more than 20 pages. Very simple, very easy to read. We have our SOPs for our pest, termite, and mosquito. We don't get into bed bug and one-times and rodent and all that. It's just our basic recurring services. We have a basic SOP. Okay, and this is like, I'm talking about like the non-negotiables. What are the things that needs to happen at every single stop that we do, right? Whether it's an initial service or recurring. We don't go into the details of like, knock on the door, back up 5 feet, smile when you, look, we're hiring hopefully the right people that can fill in the blanks and we can train on those things. However, what this playbook does, it highlights the basics, the non-negotiables that we have to do at the stop. We'll let our market leaders and our service managers, service leaders fill in the blanks of the details of all the, but for example, no matter what, we should be putting our safety cones out at every single stop at the corners of our truck. That should happen no matter what. Everybody, I don't care what office we're in, that should be happening, right? That is a core non-negotiable we need to do on every stop. If it's a brand new customer, we do a welcome gift. That needs to happen on every single new customer. So we highlight those things, right? Um, Servicing the home, right? Doing it in a certain way. Everybody's going to have their own flair for the, exactly how they service. But, are they doing it counterclockwise, starting at the front door? I realized through ride-alongs last year, we had one service professional. He'd get out of his truck and just randomly go to one area. Next guy's going left to right. Next guy's going right to left. And so I realized we need to have a basic SOP, obviously, there. And we sort of had one out there, but was everybody really following it? No, we weren't. So these are the non-negotiables that needs to happen on every stop. And so I'm excited about that. We're getting feedback from our leadership team plus our service professionals for everybody to sign off of it. So when we go over these with everybody as a group and one-on-one, literally we have to have their buy-in to know, like, is there anything in here you disagree on? What do we need to talk through this? And once they sign off on it, we get their buy-in, then that's going to be our expectation. So if it does happen where they didn't give the dog treat out, or they didn't ask for a Google review at the end of the appointment, we can reference this guide and say, no, this is one of our core items. We have to do it every stop. You said, you're on board with this. Did we forget? Did we, do we need to coach or train on this some more? Right. And so this is, again, just the basics of what we need to do. So this is one of my rocks, our playbook. We have some other rocks that I'll probably go over again and review just for sake of time. Um, want this journal entry to be relatively short. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My email, rpruitt at Pruitt Pest Control, RPREWETT at PruittPestControl.com. Also, if you will, leave us a review. I think we're sitting at 27 reviews for the podcast. Please, 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 please. Go through and review us real quick. Leave a comment. And we look at these comments. It really means a lot. If you'll do that. So again, appreciate you listening. If you have any feedback, thoughts, reach out to us, Maria and myself. Hopefully your spring is going incredible in whatever industry and whatever role you are in your career. And hope you have a good day. I'm off to deliver this MVP belt. Check out our Facebook page probably in the next few days, and you can maybe get a recap of Isaac's surprise visit. Talk soon.